Hey guys, what is up? It's Random Mr. 401 back to do another classic movie review. This time we are going to be reviewing the soon-to-be classic, and that is Charlie Bartlett. Now, Charlie Bartlett stars Anton Yelchin, Robert Downey Jr., Kat Dennings, and Hope Davis. And the basic plot is that there's this rich kid, Charlie Bartlett, being played by Anton Yelchin, and once he gets kicked out of his old rich kid proper school, he must attend a public school, and he doesn't really know how to fit in, so he's not really popular, but he wants to be popular. So he starts selling pills, and sorry, that was a bug, but he starts selling pills, and he teams up with this guy who you would not think he teams up with. He's like the tough guy around school, and they start selling pills to people just to become popular, and he's loved by everyone, and then they start doing more. They start selling videos of fights, and along the way, we meet the principal of the school being played by Robert Downey Jr., and then his daughter being played by Kat Dennings. And Charlie and Anton Yelchin's character and Kat Dennings form a really strong relationship, and Robert Downey Jr. is the father / the principal of this entire school, and that's our basic plot. Now, I really didn't know what to expect from Charlie Bartlett. I saw the poster and the idea, and I was like, that seems like a pretty cool idea. And how was it executed? Charlie Bartlett is one of my favorite high school films of all time. I don't know why this movie is getting like a 54% on Rotten Tomatoes. It does not deserve that whatsoever. This movie is a masterpiece in my eyes. First of all, let's get into the acting. The acting by everyone is astounding. Kat Dennings does a phenomenal job in this movie. Probably some of the best, even though the only other movies I've seen her in is like Big Mama's House 2. And the movie that I don't want to talk about, Thor, because she was god awful in that movie. Oh, she was so annoying in that. But this, she does a fantastic performance. You really do want her and Charlie, or you really do believe her and Charlie as a couple, and you buy this relationship 100%. And her and Anton Yelchin work off each other in an extraordinary way. Robert Downey Jr. plays the father in this film of Kat Dennings / the principal. He also does a really good job in this film. While you are rooting for Charlie most of the time, he is a rebellious kid, and so the principal is trying to stop him, and you don't really know which side to pick throughout the entire film, and that's what I loved about it, that it gives both positives to both sides. So I really like that. Hope Davis plays Anton Yelchin's mom. She did a really good job. She wasn't in it that much, but from what she was, she did a pretty good job. But the one that I've been waiting to talk about, Anton Yelchin, this is his best performance. I've seen him in the Star Trek movies, the new ones, and I saw him in The Beaver. I saw him in Fright Night. This is his best film. I'm not even kidding you. He does a fantastic job as Charlie Bartlett. Honestly, I feel like this character is real just because of how good he portrayed this character. He was written so well. Honestly, at first I was thinking Jesse Eisenberg might play this role. He could easily play this role. But you know what? After the movie really does kick in like the second half, you can tell that no, this was written for Anton Yelchin, and he does a phenomenal job at portraying this kid. When he first is introduced to this high school, you are laughing because he doesn't really know how to interact with people, and it is pretty funny. So I thought that was good. The writing in the film is also really, really well done. I mean, the concept of this is like, it relates to high schoolers nowadays. They are selling pills, and that's how they're like getting popular and getting money and stuff, and that is insane. They're selling DVDs of fights, and that's crazy. Overall, you just think this kid's plan is just maddening overall. And while it is, you're still 100% on board with it, and that's what I really enjoyed about the film. It's very entertaining to watch. You always are wondering what's going to happen next. You're always into the film, so I really enjoyed that. The directing is phenomenal as well. There's one scene where Charlie is in a pool. This is before he becomes popular and everything. He's in like an empty pool, and he's just, he's talking to himself, and it's greatly directed. I think that was just meant, that scene was just put in there just for him showing, yeah, I'm a good director. John Pohl showing that, yeah, he's actually a good director. I think that was put in there, so I definitely want to see some more John Pohl movies. Um, Overall, everything was good about it. I mean, the drama really works here. There's a lot of drama between Kat Dennings and her father, as well as Anton Yelchin and Robert Downey Jr. I thought that was all handled really well. You really do see the dynamic between Robert Downey Jr. and Kat Dennings, and you buy that Robert Downey Jr. is the father, and that's what I really liked. Anton Yelchin and Robert Downey Jr., they also have a really good dynamic back and forth. Might even be better than Kat Dennings. But overall, the way the characters interact with one another is really, really good. And overall, there's really not much more I can say about Charlie Bartlett. Cast is fantastic in the film. The writing is spectacular. They balance drama, romance, and comedy amazingly. There were a lot of scenes where I was laughing out loud. The drama was put in there really well, and the romance did work for me. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say without getting into spoilers, which I'm going to do right now. So overall, I'm going to give Charlie Bartlett a 5 out of 5 stars. This is one of my favorite high school movies. I love the hell out of it. I don't understand the bad reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. I really did have a great time with this movie, and if you're in high school, you should definitely check this movie out. Or even if you're past high school and you remember, I mean, this might not be for you since this is for more of a modern generation, but overall, I'd highly suggest this movie. It's great. I love the hell out of it. I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 stars, like I already said. So, yeah, now we're going to get into spoiler territory for it. Even though there's not much to spoil here, I'm just going to kind of get into the ending and what I thought of that. So, yeah, if you haven't seen the film Charlie Bartlett, go check it out. It's right on Netflix. I'll give you 5 seconds to exit. If you haven't seen it, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, so if you're still here, that means you either don't give a crap or you have seen Charlie Bartlett and you want to know my thoughts on the ending. The ending I really thought was enjoyable. I mean, I like how at the end he's applying for a job and he's asking him, then the guy's just like, oh, yeah, I have a long day ahead of me. And he's like, oh, tell me, because it kind of relates back to the entire film where he is trying to be a psychiatrist. I was going to say psychiatrist, but yeah, psychiatrist. Sorry about that. So I should have mentioned that before I got into spoiler territory, but the thing is, that's not a huge part of the movie, so that's why I didn't mention it. But I do think that dynamic worked very well as well. I really did enjoy it. The ending with the father was also really good. It shows that, yeah, he went back to being a history teacher here. Now, he's not like a principal like he originally was, but he went back to being a history teacher, and I really liked how his story arc wrapped up. Kat Dennings, I mean, she was fine. I mean, there's not really like a 100% wrap up for her character, but overall, it was fine. Hope Davis finally realizes that the reason Charlie's doing this is because he just wants to be a kid because he never got that experience, and I really did like that about her character. The one problem that I have with this movie, and it's a very small problem, but he has the friend, you guys probably remember the friend Len. He was at the beginning of the film when Charlie didn't have any friends at the new school. I mean, they kind of just have him in there when the popular kid is going into Charlie's limo and talking about like being business partners. But that's really it, and we never really see much else of him. And I really did want to see more of his character because I really did enjoy his character. Thought they were going to develop some really special friendship that meant more. But, you know what, they didn't. But overall, I still really enjoyed the hell out of this movie. I did very much enjoy it. So, yeah, if you guys have seen Charlie Bartlett, comment below what you thought of it. Did you like it? Did you hate it like a lot of people apparently did? Whatever you thought of this movie, comment below, because I want to know why people don't like this movie. I'm not sure, but this is a very good movie in my opinion. I'd highly suggest you'd see it. What? You've seen it probably if you're watching this. So, yeah, just comment below whatever you thought. And also, I'm reading right here, this is the only feature-length film he's directed. He's edited a lot, though, and it's weird because some of the movies he's edited isn't that great. Like, Scary Movie 3, Meet the Fockers, Dinner for Schmucks. The Campaign, Unfinished Business. Alright, so he might not be a good editor, but he is certainly a fantastic director. So yeah, that is my review for Charlie Bartlett. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I gotta get to bed because it's 1:45 in the morning, and I have work today at 11, so I gotta leave. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Random Mr. 401, and I will see you all later.